Hello and welcome to our English guide of challenge mode called Stormstout Brewery. This is one of the difficult ones, so I suggest you take this one as one of the last challenge modes you do. At the beginning as tank, you want to pull the first two, get some aggro from it, and then pull the next three. You want to build up some aggro on those mobs. You want to stun them. You want to pop Bloodlust and if necessary potion. Our druid uses stampeding roar so our tank can move on. The ranged DPS need to kill everything in the room, basically hit the tons so they explode and kill the ads. This is for the kill count. The tank just till he reaches this room. There he wants to get some aggro from the ads, wait till the rest catch up, and DPS the ads down. As soon as the tank has enough aggro, he goes to the next room, pulls all the monkeys in it and kites them around. You want to use stuns for it. You don't want to use roots, because if you got a melee DPS, the monkeys will go to the closest target if you use root, and then, well, the melee DPS dies. So use stuns. If necessary, use tank cooldowns, healing cooldowns, since you won't be needing them for quite a long time. As soon as you've killed 40 apes, the boss will spawn. Use Kek to let the apes get some extra damage increase on them. These apes don't count for the kill count, by the way, so it's no use to actually have pulled more, but if you pull all, you're at least sure that you'll reach the 40 apes killing. The boss himself is quite easy. It's exactly the same as on the rogue. DPS and healers need to put barrels on top of the boss, so the boss takes more damage from all attacks. The tank needs to face the boss away from the group and needs to dodge the ground pound. That's basically it. As healer you can DPS as well, since the healing on the tank and on the DPSs is not very hard. As soon as the boss has a few barrels on him, you want to pop some DPS cooldowns. You don't want to pop them right at the start, because, well, that's no use. Unless you got very long cooldowns, and I suggest you do use them at the start so you can use them for the last boss as well. This boss is quite easy. You don't need any major cooldowns for it, though the trash in front of it can be quite tricky. As soon as the boss is dead, you want to stack up and go as one group. You won't have the tank in front, so he takes the initial aggro of the ads. You want to have him air effect all the time. We pop stampeding roar. If you don't got this in your party, it won't be a problem. Don't put aspect of the pack on, since it will slow people. You don't DPS the ads till you reach the boss. And you want to mark 3 ads with hammers. The reason for this is because you want to knock those with the bombs up, and you want to let the boss spawn, and that can happen by doing that. Don't forget to click the hammer if it drops. Once you're grouped up, just air effect the shit out of those ads. The tank might need to pop a tank cooldown, the healer might need to pop a healing cooldown as well, depends on your tank damage. As soon as you've killed enough ads, the boss will spawn. Remember, the boss will spawn only if you kill enough of the hammer ads, so focus your DPS mainly on that, but in the meanwhile still air effect. This boss is quite easy if you do it the correct way. The correct way is you want to split up in 2 groups, one ranged and healer groups, and one melee DPS and tank group. This way the ranged and healers won't be knocked back by carrot breath, and they will not have problems with avoiding whirlwind, because it will never reach them. As tank you want to pick up all ads. As DPS you want to DPS the shit out of these ads, just area effect like a madman. Use stuns, etc. as well. Use your hammer to knock up those bombs, otherwise they hit you and you will die. As soon as the first group of ants dies, you want to go fully on the boss. The second group that may spawn, you just ignore it as DPS. As tank you should pick them up, but you actually should not focus on DPSing them. You should focus on DPSing the boss at all times after the first wave of ants. Here you can see the second group of ants spawns, but DPS still remain DPSing on the boss. As soon as the boss is dead, you go pull the next mob and DPS it. After this mob comes a quite tricky part. You need to do it correctly to get some time profit. What you need to do is you need to open the door, you need to walk as group, and you don't want to pull those ads. There is a technique that you use invisibility potion on it, however we don't recommend that. We just suggest that you wait till it's safe to go, then go as one group and don't walk through the bear because it will stun you and then you will pull the ads. You want to pull the two ads and you want to pull them in the room to activate the boss. You want to pre-pot for this, or you want to use your potion for the boss, that's up to you. I recommend you pre-potting for this one and the boss, because if you pre-pot for this one, I'm sure you will be able to pre-pot for the boss as well. Once the two big ads spawn, you want to focus on them. You ignore the two previous ads because you want to kill the first, you want to kill the boss ads, so the boss will spawn quicker. This boss is somehow different from Heroic, since in Heroic you can get different versions of the boss. On challenge mode, however, there are only one version. It's always the same rotation. After you kill the two big ads, you want to all stack behind the pillar. I want to have the tank pull all the small ads. What you want to try to do is stand between the ads while DPSing them and make an area effect stun rotation, and try to use area effect silences and single target silences as well, because if they heal, they heal for quite a lot, so you need to DPS them down quickly. As soon as these ads die, you will want to go to the middle and spread out. Now you just want to kill these 4 ads. You just want to area effect them down. Unless you got a lot of single target DPS bursts, then you want to mark 1 and go for it. Depends on your setup. and as soon as these ads die, you will be spawning the boss. You see the little square in the room? You want to spread out within the square. You also want to have your pets spread out in it. The boss will spawn in the middle and will attack the closest target. If your tank is the closest target and has aggro, it's always the tank. When there's a melee tank and the tank is aggro, it's also the tank. But when your tank is aggro and he's not close to the boss, the melee will get hit. So be sure to, as tank, always stand close to the boss. Now you want to use your potions. You want to use all your DPS you have, your cooldowns you have. Ideally you want to also DPS. And whenever an ad spawns, you want to have someone standing in front of it. Otherwise the boss will get healed for a ridiculous amount. You don't want to kill the ads, because the ads got such a high HP level that killing it will cost you that amount of time that, well, they will spawn a new one. Don't forget to jump. You can also use your pets, place your pets like in a way that you take a beam. You got 1 minute to kill this boss, otherwise you got too many places which the boss can heal, and then, well, the boss will only get more HP instead of losing it. If you follow this tactic, well, then you will get gold. I hope you enjoyed the guide. Please like, subscribe and share it if it was beneficial to you. If you want to see more guides, check out our channel, and hope to see you next time.